In the early 1900s, crippling childhood diseases brought the sick and infirmed to what was then a very sleepy Rockland County, New York. By the 1920s, after years of treating children suffering from tuberculosis, a new enemy drew an even more difficult battle line: polio. Down the road in Nyack, the daughter of famed stage and screen actress Helen Hayes would contract and eventually die from polio at the age of 19. This brought the First Lady of the American Theater into a new role, that of advocate for children's afflictions, even becoming the chairperson of the National Foundation for Infantile Paralysis. It was this organization, under her direction, that funded Dr. Jonas Salk's research into a polio vaccine, and in 1944, Helen Hayes MacArthur was appointed to the hospital's Board of Visitors, which some 55 years later would bear her name. By the end of the 1960s, the prevalent conditions among children admitted to the hospital were congenital abnormalities and cerebral palsy. Major causes for adult admissions were stroke, spinal cord injury, amputation, and orthopedic problems. Helen Hayes had been a tireless advocate for the hospital, and in 1974, the hospital was named for her. A support group was founded in 1981, and in 1999, it officially became the Helen Hayes Hospital Foundation and set out to address the needs of the hospital that were not met by traditional funding sources. This includes special equipment, seed money for research, support groups, patient equipment, adaptive sports, and other items or services that promote physical rehabilitation medicine.
We are a self-standing unit, and we are a hospital of the New York State Department of Health, of which there are few remaining. So from the organizational perspective, that really makes us somewhat unique.
What makes Helen Hayes Hospital different? It's the people who come to be helped, the people on the front lines who are there with them every step of the way, and the administration that makes sure they are there from the moment a patient arrives to the time they leave and beyond.
When I was 21 years old, I was a senior in college. I had 6 weeks left to graduate, so I decided to go to Daytona Beach, Florida with my friends for spring break. One night, while I was walking with my friends, a drunk driver was on the roadway. He was driving with his lights off at speeds in excess of 50 miles per hour when he suddenly swerved against traffic, came right at us, and he crashed right into my body. I remained in acute care for almost 2 months. I underwent 10 surgeries, and there was really little hope for a functional recovery. It was very, very difficult. And ultimately I was discharged after about 2 months from acute care, and I was taken by air ambulance ultimately to Helen Hayes Hospital here in West Haverstraw, New York.
Patients today want to come to Helen Hayes Hospital for the same thing that always brought patients here: the promise of caring and the hope of recovery.
When I started my therapies in the outpatient program, I had use of one arm and partial use of the other arm, and everything else did not work. So all I saw were limitations. My therapist in the outpatient department worked hard to show me the possibilities, and she changed my mindset. My mindset coming in was that I can't do it, and there's no point in trying because I'm gonna fail.
Unfortunately, and it's so true, when a patient comes here, their acute stay is over. Now they realize their limitations. But the way our therapists work with people and the way the clinical staff work with these patients, they turn that mindset around, and it's not, oh my God, these are my limitations. It's now, oh my God, look what I can do.
I'm very active in the adaptive sports world, so that's one of the roles I have here, is to introduce individuals to the idea of recreational activities after an injury. But I also, in my own personal life, compete. I play on a nationally ranked wheelchair rugby team. I do competitive hand cycling. I just embrace every opportunity I can in that. I've also gone on, I've went to school, started the process of finishing my master's degree. I've gotten married and had kids.
The foundation provides support for any number of critical elements. It seeks to advance the mission and strategic objectives of Helen Hayes Hospital through the development of resources and community awareness. This is accomplished through education, community relations, advocacy, networking, fundraising, and public relations. Mostly it is accomplished through the extraordinary care provided to patients and compassion to families.
I feel the responsibility is greater today than it's ever been, because the economy is not what it was, because people are very selective in where they donate, and because there's still that theory that as a state institution, they don't need anything, the state provides. We're kind of in the shadow of NIAC and Good Sam in terms of their ability to really super fundraise because they're private facilities, and so we operate within certain constraints.
Our job as therapists working in this facility, it's an honor and a privilege. I'm honored every day to allow these families who come to Helen Hayes to let me be in their lives during probably the worst part of their life, the most traumatic, the most devastating part of their lives. And I am honored that I'm there to help facilitate something positive, something good that can come from this devastation.
My name is Nikita Bernard. I am 20 years old. I had my car accident on October 14, 2011. I have been in a wheelchair as an incomplete paraplegic for 2 years. It was a freak accident, and the car hit on impact into a U-Haul truck. And I'm lucky that I'm here today. The hardest thing is to start over, because when you're in a rehabilitation hospital, it's different from the outer world. It's like, you have everybody that's there for you, that's able to take care of your needs, know exactly what you want. But as soon as you leave the rehab hospital, it's like now I guess life just slaps you in the face once again, because it's like, you have to start over.
For the past several years, the Foundation has presented one of the area's most popular golf events. The Foundation undertook the event in order to raise funds, initially for the Smart Apartment.
I think my finest moment was the day I walked into the Smart Apartment to actually see what we built.
The Smart Apartment is a model apartment that was created to help individuals with every level of disability to become independent in their lives. So the apartment is an area where therapists bring down patients of all levels to bring them into our home and food management area to retrain them to be able to go back home.
The Smart Apartment has a dozen access systems, and one of them is the HAL system, HAL for Home Automated Living, and it allows for automatic control of window shades, lighting, opening the front door, home security, and control of virtually every electronic device in the home. HAL will even store a grocery list and play music upon request. Its voice control system is known fondly to therapists and visitors as Rosie.
Without the Helen Hayes Hospital Foundation, we would not have a Smart Apartment or many other programs that are here. They're very supportive and helpful to the hospital and the various departments here in supporting us, providing unique opportunities for us to expand our programs.
I mean, for us to be able to, I'm getting the chills now as I talk about it, But to be able to walk into that room or rooms, the look on everybody's face, and even the parents' face when we went through the smart apartment was emotional. I had tears in my eyes because the parents, I think, saw for one of the first times that there's some help out there for their individual daughter.
Helen Hayes Hospital provides patients with support and care in such areas as adapted sports and recreation, neuro research, rehabilitation technology, aquatic therapy, spinal cord injury and stroke rehabilitation, joint replacement and orthotic rehabilitation, and osteoporosis research.
If you've already had a fracture from osteoporosis, you're really at tremendous risk for having more. And there's often this cascade of risk. You know, we want to try to intervene after the first fracture because we don't want to see people get the second and third and fourth. And that's how you really deteriorate, you know, in osteoporosis. And each one of these fractures causes more pain and more disability and more loss of ambulation and more loss of independence. And ultimately, unfortunately, many patients end up in nursing homes and really never regain their full independence again after these fractures.
I'm a research scientist. By training, I am a neuroscientist, but I'm specialized in doing research in rehabilitation neuroscience. That is to, in general, to understand the problems in movement or abnormalities, and trying to come up with the new methods to improve movement function recovery.
The Helen Hayes Hospital Prosthetic Orthotic Center, the most comprehensive facility in the New York metro region, designs and manufactures an array of customized prosthetic and orthotic devices on site in a 7,000 square foot laboratory within the hospital. Mary Bianco, the hospital's director of patient relations, suffered a devastating stroke shortly after she retired. After a stay at another area hospital, she came to Helen Hayes Hospital for successful rehabilitation.
Everybody worked so hard with me. I really think they gave me such extraordinary attention and everything else, and I felt safe. I felt very safe that I was in good hands.
If there's any chance of getting better and returning to your functional status, that this is the place to come.
Helen Hayes Hospital saves lives every day. It saved my life. It saves thousands of lives. To continue to help people to recover and to get back into life. We're all only able-bodied for so long. We can only be protected so much. You know, we're all susceptible to something potentially happening.
Look at the children that we're helping. Look at the adults that we're helping. And one day that could be you.
Every bit of those resources goes directly to these patients and their families to get them better, to get them home, and to make our jobs work.
As a personal injury attorney, every single one of my clients have gone through the most miserable experience of their entire lives. They went from being healthy to now being injured, to now being incapacitated, to now not necessarily having hope with regard to their recovery. And I can share with them the experience that I had at Helen Hayes Hospital, where hope really does have a home.
The Helen Hayes Hospital Foundation needs your help in continuing the century-long tradition of caring and dedication to patients. Thousands of people each year who come to the hospital frightened, injured, or sick return to a normal life because of the power of rehabilitation. Your commitment and participation allows the foundation to continue to bring on the most cutting-edge treatment available today and fulfill the dream Helen Hayes MacArthur had for this shining jewel on the Hudson.